Hello, welcome to the plot Malaysia. It's our sixth episode today, and guess what, guys? We are welcoming our first guest today. Of course, you know me. My name is Ram, and my co-host Hari, and of course, our first guest, Mr. Samson. Who's a Liverpool fan. Welcome to the show, Samson.
All right, there you go. Hey, boss.
Dream big, tall and blow. Walk on,
Now, man, at least act like you're
walk
enjoying it. Come on.
on, with hope in your
no.
heart,
Ah,
and you'll never walk alone. There you go.
Oh my God. Seriously, you guys.
yeah.
Seriously.
At six Champions League, Ram. Six Champions League.
Okay.
Alone.
Hey,
That's right.
bro, hang on. Hold your horses, Samson and Hari. You talk about six Champions League. You talk about now six defeats on the trot. Eight games also
Look,
lost already. Bring
look
it
at the
on,
stars.
Bring it on. Bring
Look
it
at
on.
look look at the stars here. Huh? We will
Yeah,
always
we
Uh,
will.
get you guys when it comes to Champions League. Okay, that's a fact of life, Ram. You need to accept it. Okay.
With the
Samson,
Europe, with
Samson.
the with the with the with the European Kings, Ram, and I've got company
Okay.
today, so it's two
Okay.
against one, bro.
Samson, I'm going to do this specially for you. After I did it for Hari, I'm going to do it specially for you. You see this? Okay. See this?
Is this supposed to be a PG show or something? No?
No.
All right, man. All right.
All right.
Well,
Good to have you. Good to have you on the show, Samson.
Yep.
Welcome,
Very.
glad.
bro.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here. I've been watching the plot ever since you guys started. I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. So yeah,
Thank
thanks for
you.
having me.
Thank you so much, Samson.
Yeah, I
Of
mean
course.
it's
Welcome to the
it's
plot.
a
It's
show.
for
It's
the
a show.
fans, by the fans. Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. I mean, the idea is to give fans a platform to voice their opinions, basically, right? So that's what we're here for.
Yep.
Cool. So what are we talking about today, Ram? Since we've got a Liverpool fan in the house, is there any other topic we can start with? Or
Well, since we have two Liverpool fans in
Obviously.
the house, we are obviously going to start by talking about Liverpool. All right. So our guest Samson will be answering a few questions that are going to be brought forward by myself and Hari. So, Hari, do you want me to start the first question for Samson? Samson, are you ready?
Always, man. Born ready.
Okay, you are ready. Brace yourselves. Okay. So, Samson, of course, Liverpool has been having, quite a slump lately. So I want to ask you this question that's related to that. Yeah. So what do you think, okay, the form or downturn has been due to? All right. Burnout, injuries, tactics. What do you think, Samson? Can you tell us about it?
All right. So, oh gosh, where do I start? Right. So with Liverpool, I think the main thing is the injuries, of course. We started the season really well. And I think injury hit when guy got injured, and I think and I think couple of weeks after that, was it Matip who got injured, and a couple of weeks after that, Gomez got injured. So within a span of a month, three of our main defenders were all wiped out, right? They were all injured, and we were talking about two of our main defenders got long injuries, long-term injuries. So this really hit us very hard. So we had to resort to our youngsters, Williams uh, and
Phillips,
also
yep.
Phillips.
Phillips.
That's right, Nat Phillips. He played amazing, by the way, last week. So, um, we had to resort to them coming in and pulling the weight of our main defenders that were out, right? And when they couldn't do the job as what Klopp wanted them to, we had to resort to bringing Fabinho, Henderson. These are not natural defenders. These are our main midfielders, bringing them into the defensive positions and making what we call as makeshift defenders.
Makeshift,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, makeshift defenders. So they did quite well. Fabinho, fantastic. I mean, coming down from defensive midfielder, sitting at a centre back role. I think he did a good job. Personally, I think he even did better than Lovren did. But we needed him in midfield. We needed him in that number 6 role. No one could feel his role up there. And Henderson, he was immense for us last year, leading us from midfield. Supplying the balls right from the middle up front. We missed that. We needed to give Thiago time for him to come in as well. So there's a lot of things, Jota coming in and stuff like that, right? So I think one of the main things cause of the downfall for Liverpool was the injuries that hit us, which was unexpected, to be honest. So I think that's part of the main reason.
All right.
Cool, man. Let me ask you a question on this as a follow-up here, Ram.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very interested to know this because I'm a Liverpool fan as well, as you know, and it bugs me in my head sometimes. So I think just like you, Samson, about issues that are causing the downturn. So I just want to get your thoughts on this. Putting the midfielders back in defense. Do you think that was the right move by Klopp, in hindsight?
So your question to me, Harit, or
Yes,
yeah?
for you, Samson.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. So for me, well, at that point of time, I feel if they were going to do that, then they cannot put we cannot play at a high line anymore, right? So
Yep,
we cannot, we always played high lines because we could support the midfielders and the strikers, and we could push up. And the
Yep.
reason we could do that is because we had Van Dijk, who was very good aerial in the air, right? If they were
Very
long balls
fast, yeah.
coming forward, he was fast as well. We
Yep.
had Gomez, who was also good in the air, who was also very fast, right? So now,
Yep.
if we're going to bring down our midfielders to defense, then we can't do that high line anymore. Which we tried to play the same. We tried to have the same game plan. We tried to carry the same philosophy that Klopp wanted, but we couldn't do it because these were not natural defenders. We're bringing them down from midfield, playing at centre back.
Okay.
No, fair enough. So do you think in that case, and I'm sure Ram will ask you this as well, but do you think in that case that there was a mistake by Jurgen Klopp there in not changing the tactics because we didn't have the defenders now that could play that high line with the height and the pace, and you were taking out two of your best pressing midfielders, so you can't press the ball up front as well. Do you think now that was a mistake and he should have changed the system, maybe drop the line back just so we can get results?
As much as it pains me to say, because we love Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp, yep.
Yep, we love Jurgen Klopp, and I think the trust is there with the fans and with Jurgen in terms of what he does as well. I believe yes. I think Jurgen, maybe I'm not sure to say whether it's underestimated or he didn't anticipate this to happen, because Van Dijk almost didn't get injured at all the whole of last season. He played almost every game for us, right? Joe Gomez, of course. So he should have seen this coming because Joe Gomez is injury prone. Matip, we don't have to say.
Very injury prone, yep.
Half the season is almost out he doesn't really rarely plays. But when he plays, he's good. When we sold Lovren, in my opinion, because we had just won the Premier League. We are champions. We are defending champions. Now, if we sold, I would say Lovren is he's one of our first team. He wasn't playing first team for every game, but he was one of the main defenders there. And when we sold Lovren, I think we should have got someone to replace him. Or someone to back up the three main defenders that we had. We had youngsters coming up, but these guys need time to settle in. They were put on the spot. They shined on some instances, but we need them every game. So yeah, I think definitely Klopp made a mistake there.
Yeah, really interesting thoughts, man. Yep.
Very, very interesting indeed. So I was going to ask you, who do you think at fault? So pretty much, I think you've answered that. You pretty much say Klopp is at fault, but you got to understand, Samson, I'm actually a very happy man.
Um,
I mean, this season, to see United on the second spot, of course, and Liverpool down at the eighth position, of course, for me, I was surprised. As a United fan, I'm actually quite surprised because I was expecting Liverpool to do so much better, being defending champions and all that kind of stuff. So I do think, that's basically, what I feel, and I'm surprised, as I said, right? But I want to ask you the next question, Samson. Okay, that's leading to that, is that how do you think Liverpool is going to get through the next the rest of the season with the results, and of course coming up against Wolves, what do you think is going to be the lineup like, and of course what is your prediction for that? How do you think they're going to go through that?
Yeah. So I want to just sort of clarify certain thing. Yes, although I think Klopp, he did own up for his mistakes as well. He knows it was a very difficult position that he was in. But he didn't have much of a choice as well. And
Yep.
having said that, I think a lot of players, need to take responsibility, and this is the time for them to step up. This is the time for them to
Mhm.
really make a name for themselves. So I think all those players who were, who were second, who were coming in, as substitutes and stuff like. This is the time where they make an impression, and where it really counts. Because you can win uh, Klopp's trust, and when you do that, be worthwhile for you. So I think players need to step up as well. As much as Klopp is taking the bulk of the responsibility, and he is, but the players as well, they need to really step up. So
Step
coming
up, yeah.
down to coming back to your question, Ram, I think uh, you know uh, we played very. I think we played well in the Champions League,
Mhm.
considering how we played with Chelsea. I think there was a big difference. Also, we could see that Klopp was resting some of the players to sort of focus more on Champions League. So I mean, I would say that we played much better in the Champions League, and I hope that we can build from that, because playing against Leipzig, they are, I think, second in Bundesliga at the moment. They are playing very well as well. They're playing some good football, and for us to take the game to them, I think putting Fabinho back in the number 6 role was an excellent choice, excellent
Yes,
decision.
man.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's my guy. So I'm a big DM fan.
Yep.
Mascherano, Fabinho.
Mhm.
So I like that role very much. I think it's very important because it fills up a lot of the gaps. And Fabinho does it very well. He does it really, really well. And with him being there, his presence being there, it allows the midfield to support the attackers. It allows Wijnaldum and Thiago to push up a little bit more, because they've got the confidence of Fabinho sitting back, and he knows when to come up, and he knows when to fill in that spaces. So I would not change the lineup. I think the lineup was good with Ozan, teaming up with Nat Phillips.
Phillips. Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
Yep. So at the back, and Trent and Robertson as well. Speaking of Trent needs to pick up a bit of form as well. He's been going down as well. Personally, I think they are all mentally fatigued as well. So they've been playing a lot of games. They've been really pushing hard as well. So I think it just everything is hit at the wrong time. Midfield was good. Fabinho, we had Wijnaldum and Thiago. That was good. I think these guys need to play a bit more to have a bit of that understanding. And uh, and build that relationship there. And of course, the front three was great. We had Mane, Firmino, and Salah. I
Oh,
wouldn't.
I think Jota played against Leipzig. Would you stick with Jota, or if Firmino is fit, would you
Oh
play Firmino?
man, I
That's a
think
big question for Liverpool
that
fans. Yep, out there.
and to be honest with you, I really like Firmino up front, because it to personally I like when you give him that when you support him when the midfield is doing their job. It allows him to have that link up play with the forwards, which I like. For Jota brings a different style of play. He gets into those spaces, he makes those runs. You can give him those true balls, he'll finish them for you, and stuff like that. But Firmino for me has a bit of he has that creativity that we need up front as well. You know, that little bit of the trickery, and that he always
Magic.
supports.
Yep.
Very unselfish player. You know, he always makes sure that he supplies whatever that he can do to Mane and Salah, making sure that they score. You know, so I like Firmino. I like Bobby up front. For me, and it's good to have somebody like Jota on the bench to come on for Firmino, you know, and or Mane or Salah. He could play wide. He could even play right in the middle, you know. So
Yep.
he's versatile in that sense, you know, Jota. So I like him. I like having someone like him on the bench who can come on and make a difference, you know. So yeah, that would probably be the lineup that I would go with.
Cool. Samson, really interesting couple of points you brought up, right? So I want to dig a little bit deeper on some of them. So
Please.
I 100% agree with you about Fabinho. I think him in central midfield changed everything for us against Leipzig. And I think that's the way moving forward. Trust the two centre-backs, Phillips and Kabak. I think they're okay as long as they've got protection. And that protection is Fabinho. It was interesting. Just putting one player in Fabinho in DM position, every part of the team started functioning.
Exactly.
Wijnaldum became better. Thiago became better. Trent became better as well because he knew that Fabinho would cover for him. The two central defenders were better. Even the forwards were better. They didn't have to track back as much. Maybe there was a big confidence, you know, that Fabinho is there. Inspector Gadget is there. Dyson is there. They call him Dyson, right? Dyson vacuum. Dyson, yeah. So I thought that is the way moving forward. You know, just play the two centre backs, Kabak and Phillips. If they're tired, play Ben Davies, doesn't matter, but stick Fabinho in that position because he makes a big difference. So that's awesome. The other thing you brought up with Jota, very interesting, right? So I think some Liverpool fans are Jota should start, some are Firmino, Bobby should start. I think both of them are brilliant. And having Jota on the bench, like you said, I think is going to be a real weapon, or even Firmino on the bench, because if we need a goal, we can change it up, or we can put one extra attacker on so we can play all four, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was a good point. But one question I got to ask you, and this is something that we're talking about Wolves coming up next, right? In the Champions League, we play Leipzig. Generally in the Champions League, teams like to open up and play their football. They believe in their ability, right? So Liverpool really thrives because there's space and they can break on teams. And they recently in the Premier League, I think our issue has been teams defending very, very deep.
Yeah,
that's right.
And not giving us any space whatsoever. So I think Wolves are going to do the same thing again. They're not going to play like Leipzig. How do you think we can tackle teams like that? How do we get through those kind of teams? Because I think that's where the issue is now.
Yeah. So for me, that's why we got Thiago. So that was the main reason for me. We got Thiago because these were for defense who was, you know, like who was defending deep, who are not giving us that room to attack, to play our fluid football that we normally do, to have that pressing game, or to have that counter press that we normally do, you know, that kind of a thing. Where Thiago does, you know, he off midfields, he just gives in that ball. All of a sudden, that through pass, which you never, you know, he brings in that creativity in midfield, which we lacked. I feel, you know, we never had a player like Thiago's caliber, you know. So we had very strong midfields. Yeah, Henderson, very strong, very engine who never stops running. You know, Wijnaldum the same, you know, and stuff like that. But Thiago brings a different game. You know, so the idea of him coming in is to break this kind of defense, you know. So I think now, like you said, is to trust the two centre backs and to have Fabinho in midfield, in defensive midfield, and let the midfielders, you know, Wijnaldum and Thiago, do their part to make sure that they somehow try to get the balls. If we're not going through them, we get over them. You know, we try to get through. We try to break the defense that way, and I think personally, I think we can do it. It's just that we need to trust these guys, and we need some time. You know, it's going to be hard because Wolves are a tricky bunch of you know, to play with as well. They're not easy, and they could surprise you, you know, at any time.
Especially with their pace on the counter attack. Yeah, Adama Traore and all these players, exactly.
He's a muscle man, Adama Traore, you know, it looks so, you know, like he's a bodybuilder, you know, he can just, you know, and that's it, you know, everyone's gone. So yeah, that's going to be quite a danger one for Liverpool though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Remind me of my good old days, you know.
Okay. I didn't know that, Samson. I didn't know that.
I think it doesn't remind me of my good old days. It gives me an idea of what I might look like physically in the next couple of years.
Oh,
No,
okay. Okay. If that's
very
the case,
optimistic.
if that's the case, Hari, I think I'm already halfway there. Then you know.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was
It's
interesting. That
precise.
was interesting.
It's precisely why we only show our faces on the show, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Not the bottom because we don't want to scare you off.
So what's your prediction, Samson? What are you going for, man? Wolves.
Wolves. I think that's going to be a tough one. I think if we can, I'm hoping for a 1-0, a Liverpool win. Right, and we really need every point at this moment because looking at the Premier League, I was checking it out the other day, and we've got 10 more games left, and the top four they are racing away, and they're running away basically with the points, and it's getting hard to catch up. We really need every point from every single game, so we cannot afford to lose anymore. But it's Wolves, so I'm hoping for a 1-0 if we can just if we can nick it. I think that will be really good. Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting indeed, Samson, that you mentioned that. It was a very good point. Hurry, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, man, what are your thoughts on this, right, Samson? So we talk about teams running away in the Premier League. We're like 9 points behind the fourth team. I think 8 or 9 points behind Chelsea now. And a lot of these teams have games in hand on us as well. Do we as Liverpool now just chuck the Premier League away? Rest our players, focus on the Champions League, and see if we can pull off an Istanbul in 2005 again. And funny enough, the final is in Istanbul again this year, right? The Champions League final is in Istanbul again this year. So, I mean, where do you stand on this argument, right? So, don't burn the players out, rest them for some of these Premier League games, focus on the Champions League, or go all out in the Champions League, risk injuries again, and then just give up the one big chance that we have basically, or one big opportunity we have to win something this year. Where do you stand on this argument?
This year is a bit tough because I was just going to just going to talk about the Istanbul year, where we kind of like didn't bother much about the Premier League, focused 100%, and we gambled on it and we won, and but this year is a bit different because we are the defending champions. We are the defending champions in the Premier League. So that makes it a little bit tricky. So for me personally, I would really want us to give it a go, at the Premier League as well. As much as we want to really thrive and win the Champions League and go all out. I would really hope that we do our best in the Premier League as well because we just won it last year and I was just looking back at a couple of seasons. I think the only time where a champion really fell or not played badly, but they didn't even reach the top four was I think the year Leicester won. The year after that they finished 14. I think if 12 or 14, I think I can't remember. So, but anyway, we can't afford to do that. That's not good enough. I think we're Liverpool. We really should do our best. I think we got players coming back from injury, and we really should give it our all in the Premier League as well. Of course, the focus now, main focus is the Champions League because that's a trophy that we can actually win this year. With regards to the Premier League, I think we have to try and finish at least, by fourth or fifth. But looking at Chelsea's game was a big thing for us. It hit us really badly because it actually gave them another 3 points to to go up in the standings. So I'm really hoping for fourth, if not at least fifth.
So basically respectability, right? Save some respect, basically, is what you're saying. Have that pride and respectability. Fight for that, basically, in the league, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay, now, so since we're talking about the Champions League, man, who do you want in the next round?
I can't say United because they kind of dropped out of the,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, put it there. Yeah. Go at it.
I would have said United, but sadly. But okay, you know what? There's a lot of teams. It's very inconsistent. So you look at your Barcelonas, you look at your Real Madrid. They're not really playing the way that they normally would play. You know, they're in a way they're struggling as well. So, well, PSG is something to look out for. Bayern Munich, wow, they play some very good football. You
Yep.
know, they're something to look out for. I would like to. I have personally, I think Liverpool have something against Atletico Madrid. We always find it difficult to get past Atletico Madrid.
Yep.
If we could draw against them, I would really want to see how that fares. You know how that fares. Porto is another team that I would personally like to see Liverpool play against as well. They're good
I think Atletico are out, if I'm not mistaken. They're already out of the Champions. I think they're in the Europa League, so that's
Yeah.
Not
sweet.
yet. Not yet. One more game. I think
Yeah, against
they lost.
Chelsea. Yeah.
They lost the first leg to Chelsea.
Okay, so they're still in with a chance. Yep.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah.
Okay. And then what about, you know what? I mean, since I've asked you the question, I'm going to give my thoughts as well. I wouldn't want us to face a difficult opponent. I'd rather save that for the semi-finals if we can make it through. So I wouldn't actually mind Dortmund. You know, Klopp's old club. They got some good players. Haaland is fantastic, scores a lot of goals, but I think they're very weak defensively. So I think it's the kind of team that we can score a lot against, as long as we can defend Haaland. So I think it is a game that might suit us actually, and Klopp will have some idea of how they plays, I think, with his inside contacts and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind Dortmund, man. I don't want to play PSG because the thought of like Neymar and Mbappe running up against Phillips and
I hope you get
Kabak,
PSG.
for example, does scare the living daylights out of me. So that's something I don't want. The last thing I want is PSG or Man City, to be honest, because
Right.
I think I don't want to be. I mean, as much as I feel we have a chance, I think they could expose our defense quite badly in over 2 legs, and it could get embarrassing. So yeah, that's the one thing I don't want. Interesting, cool.
Interesting. Yep.
I think let's round off the topic. Basically, the Liverpool chat we're having with Samson on Liverpool in crisis. Basically,
Yep.
what summer change? What do you like to see in the summer, Samson, going into next season? What changes would you like to see in the summer? I'm talking about here basically with regards to transfers in and out, for example.
Yeah. Well, in and out, I think we kind of strengthened our midfield. We got Thiago. You know, we got Jota in the striking positions. You know, I think these guys, as you said, the moment defense starts to be confident and do their part, the midfields can work, and it gives the attackers room to do what they normally would do. So for me, what I would correct would be the defensive part of it. You know, so I would bring in a defender, an out and out defender, someone who is less injury prone, who can be reliable at the back with Van Dijk when he's come back fit. You know, so you know, Koulibaly is somebody who's been talked about. A lot of transfer rumors about him. Alaba as well. A lot of transfer rumors about him. But personally, one defender who has really impressed me this season, and I would like to see in Liverpool, would be Enzi Konza of Aston Villa.
Oh, Aston Villa, yep.
Yeah,
Okay, good player.
this guy, oh man, he's a beast at the back. I think playing for Aston Villa, he's got the height, he's tall, he's good in the air, he's strong physically, he's fast, and this guy could be you know, forced to be reckoned with. At least that's my opinion. When I see him play for Aston Villa, you know, I think if brought to Liverpool, this guy could do, you know, could be a force. And you know, I think pairing him up with Van Dijk would be a good one.
Cool.
Interesting.
One quick question then. In terms of, as you talk about Enzi Konsa, a brilliant player, would you keep Ozan Kabak? Because we've got him on loan with an option to buy. So would you buy him in the summer?
Would I buy Ozan Kabak? I think since we already have him and he's playing with us, I would keep him in view for now. He's not. We don't have much of a choice actually at the moment, so we are really relying on him. It's not like we had a lot of defenders and Klopp is picking him because he's playing really well. He's not bad. I think his first couple of games, he's kind of you know, showed us glimpse of what he can become. So I think if he continues to play well, I don't see why Klopp will not make it a permanent deal. But personally, I think I may not sign him on both. You know, looking at his team playing, you know, so far, I will not. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Cool. All right,
I think
guys.
I share the same. I share the same thoughts. Before we sign off, and before Ram signs off on our show, because I think Ram's going to tell you basically we're going to carry on our chat with Samson in the next part. We've got another part coming up with Samson on a totally different topic about England and the Euros. A very quick one, Samson. So you've talk about a defender. If you could choose one striker, because I think we're going to need a striker now next season, who would that be?
Well, if we're going to have a striker, someone that I think, well,
let's just say we got all the money in the world. Would it be Mbappe?
Wow,
Please.
definitely.
Keep dreaming, keep dreaming, both of you.
If we could get someone, but you know what? I think if we could get somebody, Haaland would be somebody that would be great. You know, I think he would be someone.
He's going to come to United.
Well, let's see. I mean, again, he said if I had all the money in the world, then that's somebody that I would buy. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I share that opinion. Ram, over to you, man.
Hey guys, thank you so much, Samson, for sharing. I know your insights on Liverpool. Indeed, it was very, very, very fruitful. I think
very interesting chat. Yep.
I think it was really good. You have brought us some important points. I think it's going to be very valuable to all the Liverpool fans that are watching this show. So I think this is something that's going to be part of the archives of our show. So thank you once again, Samson. So guys, we are signing off from this part, but we will be continuing our chat with Samson for England and the Euros. So of course, this will be part 1, and of course, part 2 will be coming soon. So guys, before we end the show, I just want to tell, everyone over here, all those fans out there, if you want to be just like Samson, please leave your comments. Tell us which team you support, because we want to welcome you into our show and of course, discuss about your favorite team. Yeah? Harry, you wanted to say something?
Subscribe and please subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. We thank everyone who subscribed so far. Keep the subscriptions coming in, and we're going to keep bringing more informative information and conversations to you guys. But we're going to have a second part coming up with Samson. Going to be very interesting about the Euros. But Ram, signing off from the plot from part 1, basically with Samson. There's no better way to sign off, Samson.
Thank you. Whoa.
Not again. For the fans, by the fans. Goodbye. Signing off.